Hey, what is up, you sexy beastos, and it's Tristan here, where I'm doing the Should I series. This is Should I Smoke Weed? Not for me, but for you guys, is whether you should smoke weed or not, and whether it's a good idea, in which cases it is a good idea, or maybe it's not a good idea, or whatever, the answering the question, should you smoke weed? So, this isn't for me, this is more for you, but I'll kind of go into my own life and other stuff as well, and just give you some general tips and advice to make your own decisions on whether you should do this or that. So, weed, it's a controversial one, it really is, because it's mostly illegal in the United States. It just got legalized in Oregon, which is where I live, which is pretty cool. So, on June 1st, it will be legal to buy, possess, smoke, whatever, if you're over the age of 21, so it's pretty cool. But, so it'll be just like alcohol, regulated just like alcohol. So I'm going to kind of refer to it as the same as alcohol in some ways, but different in other ways. So I'm going to start out with the cons, then I'm going to talk about the pros, and then what you should do if you actually do decide to smoke weed, or reasons you should not decide to smoke weed. I'm just really going to talk about it, and what I know, and so you guys can make your own educated decisions. So, cons to weed. The first one is it's a drug, right? Regardless, it is a drug. It's similar to alcohol, and if you take in this drug, then it affects your mental state at the time, and so it is an actual drug, you know, just like caffeine is a drug. So yeah, it's classified as a drug. That's technically a bad thing because it does affect your brain, and if you're really, really young, then I would definitely suggest that you do not smoke weed. If you are under the age of, 13, 14, well, your brain is like really still developing, like majorly. Even if you're older than that, I'd still wait a little while. Anyway, second one is it's illegal. No matter what age you are, I'm pretty sure most of my audience is below 21. So those are above 21 in legal states, good for you. But those who don't have a medical green card or something like that, it is still illegal for. So yeah, that's a big con to marijuana because a lot of people don't want to get into that. It's illegal and not severely illegal, but still, you can still be punished federally and by your state for possession, distribution, whatever, even just owning and, smoking weed for yourself. So yeah, it's illegal in that way, so that kind of sucks. Makes it a little bit harder to obtain, and the stuff you do obtain is a little bit sketchier. That's kind of why I mentioned that. And you can also be grounded for it. So most of you guys probably live with your parents, and you can be grounded for smoking weed easily, right? It's like, oh my god, what did you do? What have you been doing this last few weeks? And you're like, nothing. And like, you smell like weed. You're grounded. So that really sucks. That's a big drawback. That partially because it's illegal, but because minors shouldn't really be doing it that much either way. And the last con that I'm going to mention today, I don't really know. There are definitely more, but the last con I'm going to mention is that it makes you lazy. It really demotivates you. And this was one of the problems with me when I smoked weed. Is, freshman year and stuff like that. It really destroyed my motivation. I was like, oh my god, I really don't want to go to work today. Even days I wouldn't even smoke. That's the thing, is what I mean. Just in general, it kind of makes you lazy, and you want to be less productive, and you don't really want to have responsibility and go to work and do stupid stuff like that. But you still have to either way. So yeah, that's the last con that I'm going to mention today, that it really makes you lazy. And so yeah, it's an illegal drug that can make you be grounded, and it also makes you feel lazy. Now the pros, there are a few, which is why I'm kind of into this debate. If it were all cons like heroin and stuff like that, I'd be like, not really. Like the one pro that makes you feel amazing. But yeah, I don't know that from personal experience, trust me. So it's a social thing. It's just like alcohol in that way, where, people get together and they smoke this together and they have a good time together for the most part. And yeah, it's a social thing that can bring people together, but it can also bring people apart, right? So if like, let's say you're in a group of friends, and this has happened to me, where you guys all smoke together or whatever, and then one of them decides to quit. It kind of tears them from the group in that way, because you all shared this one thing, and that was the one thing. And then if one of the members is no longer doing that thing, then it can kind of bring the group apart. And it's like, oh man, we used to always do this together, blah blah blah. It could be anything. It could be rock climbing. It can do that exact same thing. So it can be good or bad if you decide to quit, or if someone else decides to quit. Also, it's fun. I don't know if you guys have ever smoked weed. Let me know if you have. But it's a pretty fun thing to do. It's interesting and different. It's not too crazy of a drug, right? It's not like psychedelics or anything like that, and the effects wear off after an hour or two. So it's a fun thing that's controllable, and you still are yourself, right? You're just kind of in a little bit of a better mood, if I could word it that way. And yeah, the last thing would be, it can be for medical uses. So I don't know if you guys suffer from any medical condition that gives you extreme pain or something similar like that, like glaucoma or bulimia or anorexia, where you can't eat or you throw up your food or whatever. Then it'll definitely be helpful for that. And in that case, I would definitely recommend getting a green card, because it's most likely illegal in your state. So getting a green card to, if that's even legal in your state. Not every state has medical marijuana either. We have both right now. So yeah, I would say in that case, yeah. So I'm definitely biased towards, I'm going to make this clear, I'm definitely biased towards, I'm a pro marijuana guy because I don't view it as that awful of a drug, right? It's definitely not as bad as alcohol, and I base that more on fact than opinion, right? The fact that it's less bad than alcohol. But anyway, yeah. So just because of how it affects your mind, right? You don't really hear about a lot of people getting high and getting in crazy auto accidents and killing 14 people, or just, you know, killing their wife or something crazy like that. You don't really hear about that on alcohol too much. Or you do hear about that on alcohol a lot, but not really on marijuana. So yeah, I would say it makes people more calm and less likely to act irrationally. But still, you should not drive under the influence of this or operate like a motor vehicle or something like that. So if you do decide to do it after giving these lists of pros and cons, like maybe you and your friends want to try it and you do it on your own volition, right? Don't do it if you're pressured into doing it. Don't do it if you feel like you have to do it to fit in. Do it because you want to do it, or you're like, hey, look, this is something new that I want to try and I want to do it. So I'm not going to tell you guys expressively to do weed because it definitely has its drawbacks. And if you're not ready for those drawbacks, and if you're not responsible using it, you can kind of get sucked into that lifestyle. It's not really that addictive physically, but you can get sucked into that lifestyle where you're like, oh yeah, I just want to, you know, smoke weed and not do anything today. And trust me, I've been there, but I still ended up doing stuff, and that's why I've, you know, kept my job and whatnot. So yeah, I would definitely not smoke weed if you feel that you'll get sucked into this easily, right? If you feel like you're already not responsible enough and you're not ready to take on less responsibility, right? Because you'll definitely want to if you're under the influence, and even not under the influence of marijuana. So that's a thing. But yeah, if you do decide to use it, please be responsible. Please don't drive. I mean, you can ride a bike or something. That's more risk to you than anybody else. But yeah, don't drive. Don't do anything too crazy, and just have a good time with it. And don't be crazy out in public, right? If you're out in public, it's pretty easy to tell whether someone's under the influence of weed if they're high, but not always. So just please don't drive anywhere. I mean, you can walk somewhere to go get food. I don't view that as terrible. But yeah, just be safe if you're going to do this, guys. Do it as legally as legally as you can, with breaking as least laws as possible. So don't like sell it or distribute it or anything like that. I definitely can't condone that. But if you want to try something, I view it not nearly as bad as alcohol. So if you want to try something new and you want to kind of experience something different, then make the decision. If you want to try it for yourself, go ahead. I'm not going to hold you back, but it's not the worst possible idea. I would definitely prefer you guys to be smoking weed than doing alcohol. So this is definitely a video where I feel like I've been a horrible person, but I'm not telling you guys to do it. I'm not saying that, oh yeah, go out there, smoke all the weed you want, because that's bad, right? That would just be awful. I'm not gonna, you know, convince you guys to do drugs. I'm just saying, you know, these are the facts, and there are pros and cons, definitely cons as well, that you should take into consideration before even considering starting this. This may just help make up your mind. You're like, oh man, what are the exact cons? I've never done this before, whatever, something like that. But if you do decide to do it, I would definitely not do it chronically. Just, you know, maybe once in a while, you know, binge, and, you know, do it for like a social thing or a social event or whatever. Like if you go to a party or something, then maybe try it there. But I'm not going to give you guys a definitive yes or no. Remember the fact that I love you guys. Bye.